Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai Bahashim Bagadash and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Good News too. There's a quick lesson here on the go again, right, through the Spirit. As you see the first scripture here, man's goings of the Lord, and I'll just title the video that, so if the Spirit have me change it, I'll change it, right? Now, as I say, just flowing through the Spirit here and landed on this precept, right, because I also was having a discussion a while back with someone, who I was teaching, and, they knew, so they believe the idea of free will and whatnot, right? And we know in this truth there's no such thing as free will. And I remember this is one of the first videos, the first set of videos that I did when I just came in. There's no such thing as free will. So I read this, Proverbs 20:24. It says, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? Right? So I had them read this precept, and they broke it down correctly. But they still interpret it as, the Lord giving you ultimatum still, in that sense. Right? Like, they still turn around and said that, if you choose to go right, the Lord have something set for you that way. And if you choose to go left, the Lord have something set for you. So in other words, it's saying any direction you take, you have consequences, right? But the thing about it is, as I explained to them, it don't matter which way you take. It's like they're partly right, whichever direction you take to have consequence. But the thing about it is, you could tell yourself that I'm going right, and then you say, what now? I don't want to go right again, I will go left. Even when you think you was the one that made that decision, it wasn't you. It was the Lord. The scripture says there, man's going out of the Lord. Right? Because when you read here, Jeremiah 17:9, right? It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Right? And I was going to read this precept a little later on, but it came to me now because when you think about it, right, the scripture say here, the heart, which goes back to the Hebrew word la'ab, which was mind, right? Because your physical heart that people like to talk about, right, is an organ. It's just an organ that pumps blood, right? So it goes back to your mind. So when you look at it, it's desperately wicked, So you could concoct whatever it is in your mind and think, well, I'm making this decision because it's what's best for me, But really and truly, your steps are ordained. You understand? I believe there's a scripture that says that as well. I can't remember how it goes, because we usually link it up with the Proverbs, Steps are ordained of the Lord, so to speak. You understand? But nevertheless, right? You could think that you're going this way, and really and truly is because the Lord had it ordained from since in the beginning for you to go that way. You understand? Because remember, this is the other thing here, right? How does our scripture go? Return. This is Isaiah 55:11. I'm just reading the point here, right? It says, so shall my word. I read from verse 10 to give it a little context. It says, for as the rain cometh down, and the snow fall, and the snow from heaven, and return it not thither, but water it the earth, and make it bring forth and bud, and it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Right? Now think about that. If If you have a plan, right? Let's don't put it in the perspective of the Lord yet. If you have a plan as to how it is, see, 144, flat, right? If you have a plan and you organize for it to go a certain way, right? You say, okay, in order to achieve this, I first need to do this. Next step is this, the next step is this, right? The Lord have his things set the same way, right? He wants to achieve this, so this had to happen, so this person had to move here for this person to do this person had to say this for this person to react to this, X, Y, and Z. You understand? That is how that whole thing will play out. Now, of course, it's the Lord. You understand? The Lord can make up multiple different scenarios where it ultimately still come into the end, right? Because there are many. For instance, I often tell people when it comes to anime, right? One of the things I like about the creators is that when they have the game, they have the series, and they have the manga, right? Which is the reading material. Sometimes they often even have movies, right? Which is a shorter breakdown of the first season or whatever, right? And though the main scenes be the same, they make certain alternatives, that makes it different, a little different. So it don't be completely the same thing, And by them doing that, it makes it more interesting. So we know the Lord capable of that. But this is the Lord, right? So the Lord is the one that had to have it set. And he have full power to do just that. You understand? Nobody can change it. You understand? It's the same way we all know that the Lord didn't have to create Yahushua, for him to create the angels, for him to create everything 1,000 years at a time. 1,000 years at a time. The Lord could have snapped his fingers and make everything happen. But the Lord loved his thing done a specific way. You understand? He loved his thing done a specific way. So if this is how he wanted, this is how it's going to go. Right? So if it is, he created us, right, to fulfill a certain purpose, then that is how we're going to go. There's no other way around it. You understand? So I just wanted to establish that, right? Because I just wanted to establish that because it's a funny thing when you look at it, right? And there's many more precepts that we could go into and break it down, right? But right now on the clock, right, and I have to go to work. So I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Till next time, I say Shalom.